massive bodies, but it was probably similar to how leviathans swam in space. His attention wasn't truly on the beasts, however. Perseo, though not well known and isolated from more populated systems, was not an unknown world that they had only to themselves. There were a few other bases and homes scattered about the thousands of islands that dotted the seas. It was a world with 94% water cover, but plenty of islands and plenty of places to hide or vacation. Some of the ships could have belonged to people that lived here or frequented the world a lot. But that wasn't where his mind went. Every bit of movement had him thinking that a ship had made an approach, that they had been found, whether by friend or foe, and it was time to return to their duties. However, he was not quite ready to do that. His ribs were healed, and most of them that had sustained wounds had healed as well, but as soon as they were on the move, they would become a target once more. This vacation would end soon, but he would enjoy every last second. Ark stood in the shallows, a wide-brimmed sun hat covering her short-cropped hair that shone a midnight blue, though in this sunlight would have looked a bit brighter. Her sky-blue cerulean skin, exposed by the white two-piece swimsuit she sported, was near the same color as the water, and if he squinted enough, she could disappear amidst the crystal-clear waves. She pursed her lips in a curious and determined half-smile as she waited slowly, her dark eyes watching the water. Slung in the crook of one arm was the handle of a bucket, and within were a bunch of multicolored shells, though they looked nothing like the shells of earth crustaceans. These were wild shapes with swirling magical patterns, warped horns, long protrusions, and even gaps for the creatures within to poke their heads through once they had inhabited them. When something caught her eye, Ark's face lit up, her lips revealing a brilliant smile as she crouched, the water caressing her thighs and hips, and dipped her arm into the water. A second later, she stood, revealing her catch, a stunning hexagonal shell with a whirling pattern in the middle that looked like a spiral galaxy. It was a stunning orange and purple mix, the two shades blending and dancing with one another. "This is the best one yet," she proclaimed. And not to him in particular, since Vasya, with her 4 long, slender arms, also searched nearby for shells. She wore a sleek, black one-piece swimsuit, though her usually covered arms and legs were unveiled for once, a rare sight. Strong legs of a sage and onyx, like moss-covered stone. Her head was still covered in a thin black veil that shielded her face, though not enough that they didn't see the details. Today, it served doubly as a way to keep the sun from her eyes. "That one is quite lovely," she called back to Ark. That praise produced the biggest smile yet. Ark did enjoy being complimented. She needed this break more than most of them. On Hephaestus 27b, it had been a group of her own people that had been turned into mindless monsters, killing one another until they were all near undead, indestructible living weapons. Only a small boy, Saf, had survived, and he and Ark had bonded in the brief hours they had been together. Trauma bonding wasn't always healthy, but in this instance, Mel felt it was all right. The boy was fine, having been found a new foster home with some well-to-do Cerelians in their home system. He and Ark had been in constant contact, which Melias knew helped, but he also knew that it all still weighed heavily on her. So, seeing her smile like this was a good sign. She had been smiling most of the trip, and he could sniff out her fake ones from the genuine ones. These were genuine. And beautiful. Sloshing in the water behind him roused him from that brief thought. Nyath, his vice-captain and closest confidant, approached him from the beach where he saw his best friend and cook, Aaron, playing some cards with his medic Ixion beneath a wide tent. Lots of drinks were scattered in the sand around them. His eyes were more drawn to Nyath, however, who came and sat beside him on the rock, silent for a minute as she watched Ark and Vasya frolic in the shallows. He couldn't help his gaze wandering over the stunning 2 centuries-old Yorutan. She wore a red bikini that complemented her dark skin. Her body was lean and toned.